All right, it's Friday, September 29th, 10:20 a.m. I have to stop for the day. As you can see, I was green today, one win. You can see here $96 per PA account, which is $192 combined. And on 4 evaluations, $768 combined, $192 each. And just the one trade right here at the end felt pretty scary. It was a big stop. You'll see in the live recording. It didn't feel like a good trade to me. Getting in at the bottom, getting in below overnight lows, as you can see here. So it in the moment didn't feel like a great trade, but my signal was there. My rules were in place. It just had a really big stop if I was wrong. And it made me really uncomfortable to take it, knowing that I was probably going to be finishing soon for the day, and didn't want to finish with a loss, which would have given me a red week, and I already had 2 losses this week, so I certainly didn't want another one. But thankfully, we got a win. We finished the week 8-2. I'll take that as a good sign. It was a slightly green week overall. I did lose my one evaluation yesterday, but replaced it with this one, as I talked about yesterday. And so this is in good shape with a full drawdown and a full month of being able to trade it. So I feel overall good. I got 10 trades this week. Again, 2 losers, but 10 trades for me is a lot of trades. When I was trading Pat System, I was getting 3 or 4 trades pretty much. You know, if I wanted a green week, I would get 3 or 4 trades and have like a 3-0 week typically, or a 3-1 week. And, you know, this week to be 8-2 for a green week. Last week, I was 3 wins and 2 break-even +1s. So essentially, you know, you could call that a 5-0 week, or, you know, at the very least a 3-win week with 5 trades. That's good for me. And the week before I was on YouTube, I had a 7-0 week. So things are going really well as far as the strategy is concerned, and the statistics, the win rate, looking good for me. The one hard part to manage is trading on Apex accounts with the trailing drawdown is definitely a bit of a challenge for me, just because if you want to trade more contracts, it really takes up a lot of your trailing drawdown, and you know, 1 or 2 trades could be your account. So having to keep that in mind, even today on 1 contract on these PA accounts, if my stop got hit way up here, and let me zoom in here. So you can see here, end of the day, we had a move down that was just kind of steadily moving down here. And we got to the overnight lows, and I got a beautiful signal bar, very bearish, and I entered it when it went 2 ticks below here. I entered 1 tick below, and this is my LO setup. I was able to get an 8-tick scalp, but what was scary was I put my stop here. Where did I put my stop? Yeah, I put it about here, and honestly, it really belonged more like up here, or at least somewhere here. So that was a huge stop, made me really nervous. I felt like I was taking on too much risk at the end of the day for my trading week, and honestly, it's probably a trade I should skip, just because the risk on this particular one was just way too high. You know, we're talking about 10-15 points, I believe. It's just too much. So this is going well. I'm glad I'm documenting it this way on YouTube. It feels very scary to enter these trades sometimes in these situations at the overnight low, at the bottom. But the signal was there. All the indicators were there. The rules were in place. I followed it. I entered it as I was supposed to, and it worked out. And that's about all I can ask for. And it's really what I need to do, because I do still believe that these tend to work more than they don't. And I talk in the video during the live recording part about what I'm keeping in mind for when it starts stacking up after I enter a trade. And I'll just say it real quick here. If these stack up and I get 5, 6, 7 bars in a row sideways, I'm getting out of the trade break even from now on. This one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this didn't go and get my scalp when it did, I need to get out of this trade. That's how I'm looking at it in the future. But I got to run. That's all for me for this week. 8-2 for the week, 1-0 for the day. I feel good about it. Let's see how we do next week. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that's my signal. Just over 2 minutes. If it doesn't go 2 ticks above this anyway, then it's doing me a favor by not making me enter during the news. Oh, spoke too soon. News. I don't know. It's gonna work. The rule is no trade when there's gonna be news.
Order canceled.
Even though that might work. Doesn't look like the news is being too crazy. It looks like it will. Yep, it would have worked. All right, that's too bad. Just bad timing. It just doesn't fit my rule.
Order canceled.
I stick to my rules to the T because I know that they mostly work. This just doesn't work for what I'm looking for. Just see how this candle closes.
Order submitted.
Thinking this is probably not going to be a trade, but just in case. No trade. Doesn't fit my rule.
Order canceled.
Still would have worked.
Order submitted.
Just getting ready just in case. It's not quite right now, but we'll see how it looks on this close. Nope.
Order canceled.
I'm going to take this. If it goes 2 ticks. Only 1 tick. Which is going to save me, looks like. Unless it comes back down and takes me in. Okay, so let's see. Right at the end or no? Okay, no trade. And that just gives me further confirmation. We're seeing consolidation here. So it doesn't let me in the trade. For that very reason, which is why I wait for 2 ticks. But we'll just wait here and see if something else forms, because I'm still expecting this gap to be closed. It's come down quite a ways from the top. So it's definitely trying to close the gap. The gap of the previous day close.
Order
Taking a look at
submitted.
this, I'm still expecting the gap to be closed here to the previous day close. See what this looks like on the close of this bar. Nope. Doesn't fit my rules.
Order canceled.
Just nothing setting up today so far. We'll just keep waiting. All right, we got a possible short here.
Order submitted.
Still expecting price to reach the close of yesterday. So I just want this to turn bearish, but if this goes any higher, it's not going to be a trade. Too high. I mean, it's been pretty obvious what price is doing, trying to get to this previous day low, but just no setups to get me in on this down move since the peaks earlier, all the way up here. I've been kind of thinking it's going to make its way down the whole time, but just no setups. No setups that qualify under the rules I put in place. I notice some days it just, you know, for my set of rules, some days it just, things set up close to being right, but just not quite exactly. And there's setups that would have worked, except I'm very strict on my rules, so I can't take any of these things. Here it goes for the previous day low that I've been waiting for, and just no setup to get into it. Just nothing here for me. So it's another one of those days I can't let myself get frustrated by it. This is the part about trading psychology. I've been waiting for it to reach this previous day close for quite a while.
Order canceled.
You know, I started the market somewhere around here, and when it kind of tried to reach this top again and then started falling off, I've been really thinking short most of the time, and especially here, I've been thinking short, but just no setups to get in. The whole time thinking we have the gap at the open, we're all the way up here. Yesterday's price closed here, and thinking it'll close the gap to the closing price. My first thought was just obviously opening up here to close it, to at least close the gap of the candle, of the daily candle. And once it did that, you know, I was waiting to see if it was ready to just bounce and go from there higher, or once we had this big move down, I figured we were coming down here to the previous day close. So no trades so far, almost 9 o'clock, and not sure if I have to cut it off early today again or not yet. So I'll be finding out soon if I'm trading a full day today until 12:30 or stopping soon. All right. And just looking here, just want to say a perfect touch to the tick off the previous day close. So now here, you know, I think anything is possible. It's looking like this will not be valid. Basically, if it closes up here now, somewhere up here, anywhere kind of at this point or above, that would be the area it needs to close. But now one of my lines is not any longer in the right formation. So I'll have to see on the close if it gets back into the right place, or else it'll be another one of these where, you know, I have like 3 out of the 4 factors in place. But that one factor not in place will keep me out of a trade. Usually it'll save me from a loss. It's when I take something like that and I'm not paying close enough attention and realize after the fact that, oh, that line wasn't where I needed it to be. That's where they usually cost me a loss. So yeah, this is gonna, looks like close where I want it. But I'm guessing this is gonna be an invalid trade for me. I'll be ready just in case. And I don't know where all the lines are going to be until the bar closes. According to my indicator, everything depends on the close of the bar when I'm looking for a trade. So even though this bar is closing beautifully where I wanted it, I think it's not going to be a trade for me. Yeah, no trade. Invalid.
Order canceled.
One of those days again. Taking a look at this.
Order submitted.
Very bearish.
Order filled.
Hopefully I'm not entering too far at the bottom of this move. Feels like it. I feel like this is kind of too risky, actually. I shouldn't have taken this. This was too impulsive of a trade. The stop is too far away. It's not even where it should be right now. And this was a very big down move. I'm getting in very far below. So I'm not feeling great about this. Much too impulsive trade. It doesn't feel like a good trade to me. I'm really going to get ready to just take a break even +1. I don't feel like this was a great trade. Give it a chance. This This is feeling very much like some of my losers lately. Let's see if it can push down. Okay.
Order
Okay,
filled.
I got it. That was too risky of a trade. My stop was supposed to be even higher than this. My stop was supposed to be up here. So I really need to skip these trades when the stop is supposed to be so far away. There was great momentum, but the risk is really too high to be scalping for 8 ticks on that at that spot. So I'll take my win, but I'm going to have to really take into account better what my risk is on some of these, because if that turned against me, I'm in big trouble. There's a lot of bearish pressure here. I'm going right into I'm right below the lows of the overnight. So very risky. Happy with my win, but happy but not happy, because that was a tricky spot. And let's just check here. We did get our 8 tick scalp. All right, that one had my heart beating. I waited over 3 hours for that, and it's funny because I was toying with buying I'm thinking about buying a couple new evals for the 90% off. They're, you know, $16, or if I do the 25K, $14, and just doing like 8 or 10 contracts, like basically max contracts, and just seeing if I can pass in 3 or 4 trades. Let's see how much pullback there was. I was in 25, and it only pulled back at the highest to 28. So that's, you know, almost 3 points. If I were to do something like that, the issue with doing it is, you know, if it pulls back 4 or 5 points, the account is blown when trading that many contracts. So that's the difficult thing. I think it's around 5 or 6 points of a pullback will just blow an account, but they're 14 or $16, so maybe it's worth trying that at some point. Maybe I'll do it next week with 1 or 2, and you know, just test it to see if it's worth just trying to blast through evaluations with really big contracts, pass it in 3 or 4. I think the problem will be I'll just run into one trade where the pullback will be, you know, 5 or 6 points before it works, and it'll just, you know, I'll lose the account, and then it'll work, and then I'll be frustrated, right? But we'll see. Anyway, we got 1 trade today, so that's good. And let's see if we have anything else. I might have to stop here pretty soon. All right.
Order submitted.
The trade here, if this is bearish as well, this may turn into a trade. So we're going to wait and see if this turns up or if it turns down. Still thinking about this one. That just felt very risky. You know, the reality is it feels like you're jumping off of a cliff on these trades sometimes, because you're constantly entering into lows or into highs, and it feels wrong. Let's see. These are for momentum plays, so okay, that bar's not bearish enough. All right,
Order
I actually
canceled.
just got the word that I need to stop. So this is going to be the end of the session for me today. Hung in there long enough to get this one trade, and this one, you know, I'll tell you the truth. I trust my setups, but I did have 2 losses this week, and I definitely didn't want to finish the week with a loss. And I knew I might have to be stopping soon, so I'm definitely very happy that this one worked out. But it didn't feel good because my stop really belonged way up here, and I only put it here, and that would have obviously been huge. It could have devastated my PA accounts. So I'll come back and do a summary later when I can, but we got the 1 win. I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to continue to just, you know, the whole point of this is to test the system, and I'm testing it with live recordings and putting them on YouTube for it to all be documented. So as crazy as this trade felt, it fit the rules and it worked. So I gotta just trust what I'm seeing. This setup seems to be working really great for me, and I think the only time I need to really be worried and really get out break even +1 is when there's, I'd say, 5 or more bars lined up. So if this had bounced back up here and had gone across 1 or 2 more bars, I think I definitely have to get up break even +1. So I think this was the maximum number of bars. That's what I'm saying. And anytime I've taken a loss on this setup, it's because there's another bar that stacks here and another bar that stacks here, and it's just not getting through, and there ends up being like kind of a triple test, and then it bounces away and takes me out. And those are the only losses I seem to be getting on this. So as long as it works within this many bars, we're good. And you saw that I was, you know, I was prepared. If it bounced up, I was going to figure out a way to get out. And that's how I'm going to tackle these moving forward. Anyway, this is going to be the end of my video for the week, and we'll look forward to next week.